I'm ashamed to admit that I have never read The Hunger Games, but that changes today. Hi, readers. Welcome to Novels with Nat. This week, I am finally reading The Hunger Games. So, I do not know how this series slipped through the cracks for me, but I have never read it in my life. I have seen the movies. I've seen them probably only once each, and it's been a very long time. I saw them when they came out. So I'm pretty foggy on what even goes on in the books. I will genuinely be surprised as I'm reading this. I don't remember how it ends or how this book ends or what goes on whatsoever. All I remember is the general premise of what's going on and what the Hunger Games is. So I'm very excited to jump into this world and see how I feel about it. I think in this video, I'm just going to do a reading vlog of the first book, The Hunger Games, and then we'll go from there and we'll see if I want to continue. I have heard some people say that they read the prequel book, like the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, first. I don't know if that's what you're supposed to now do or not, but something in my brain just tells me that I should start with The Hunger Games, so that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to read them in publication order. So the first, or like the original three books, and then the two books that have come out most recently. So, like I said, I only know basically the general premise of the book. On the back, it says, "Winning means fame and fortune, losing means certain death. The Hunger Games have begun." So, I mean, it's just like a classic dystopian book. It's young adult. It's everybody's heard of the Hunger Games. It's like I feel like it's up there with like Twilight and Harry Potter. It's just one of those series that everybody has read, everybody loves. It's very near and dear to people's hearts, and I'm so excited to finally be in the club on this one. I cannot believe I have not read it yet. So I've always known that this book is wildly popular, but I don't think I necessarily understood how popular it really is or was. When I was deciding to film this video, I just looked up a little bit about the book, and I was shocked to see that the first book currently has about 9.5 million ratings on Goodreads. That's insane to me. 9.5 million ratings on this book. It's currently rated at a 4.34, which is really high. I also then read that the series is deemed a modern classic, or people are referring to it as a modern classic. And so, as someone that doesn't read very many classics, I wanted to make sure I knew exactly what that was. So, a modern classic generally refers to something, often a piece of literature, art, or design, that is considered to be a timeless work of excellence, even though it was created relatively recently. It's something that maintains its appeal and influence across generations and is widely recognized as significant. So I think that makes total sense. I think the concept of this book is so unique and so brilliant that I think it definitely will hold the test of time. I just didn't know that this was considered a modern classic, so that is really cool. I was also shocked to read that the series has sold over 100 million copies. So I feel like since the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and Sunrise on the Reaping have come out, that people have just sort of reignited their love for this series and this world and the characters, and I feel left out. And so I want to be part of it. So I decided that this is finally going to be the day that I start the Hunger Games. It has been on my shelf for a very long time, and I have just been putting it off and making excuses. And enough of that. Today's the day I'm going to start the Hunger Games, and I'm going to take you along with me and share my thoughts. And this is going to be a little reading vlog. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments, what are your feelings about the Hunger Games? Do you enjoy this series? Did you read it when it first came out, or were you late to the party and read it a little bit later? Please let me know. I'm going to start the book right now, and I will come on when I have some thoughts. Okay, so I made it about 50 or 60-ish pages through. I'm having a good time. It's going really well. We're just kind of setting up the story and leading up to the games. I will say it was fun to read the scene, like the most iconic scene that everyone remembers from the beginning, where Katniss kind of stands up and volunteers as tribute. That's probably the only scene that I have a clear memory of from the movie. Besides that, I don't remember much at all, so I am really going into this blind. So I have no clue where this is going to go. So I'm actually happy that I don't remember the movie because it makes for a better reading experience. But I am looking forward to finishing the book and then rewatching the movie. I'll definitely do that this weekend. So I thought I would just share a couple of my initial thoughts. The first thing that I noticed was it definitely has that YA young adult style of writing, which is to be expected. It's a young adult book. but I don't tend to usually gravitate towards young adult books. I just don't prefer the writing style. I just really feel like I would like to be further in Katniss's mind and to hear more about her thoughts and her emotions and what's going through her head. And I feel like it's sort of very surface level. We're just kind of explaining what's happening, where she's going, who she's talking to. Um, and that's fine. Like it's a book designed for young readers. But that's just something I noticed. I will also say that I have been listening to the audiobook while I read along with my eyes. And I originally got the audiobook from Libby, and the narrator just, I was not a fan of the narrator. They just read a lot older than I picture Katniss to be, and it was really affecting the experience. So I took a look at Hoopla, which is another um, audiobook app that you can get hooked up through your local library. And they also had the audiobook available. So I just double checked, and the narrator of that one was different or seems to be different. And I'm enjoying that one a lot better. So I've decided to switch over to the audiobook on Hoopla, which is interesting because I didn't know that they had multiple narrators for the same book. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the same one, but to me it sounds very different. So I'm not sure if that's a thing or what's going on with that. But nonetheless, I am switching over to the Hoopla audiobook and I am enjoying it. I think I am done reading for the night though, so I'll probably check in tomorrow once I've gotten a little bit farther through. Okay, I lied. I read a bit more. I made it to page 138. I'm just going to stop now at part 2. The Games is coming up next. So I'm assuming we're getting into the Hunger Games next, so I thought this would be a good place to stop. It's just so easy to read. I just picked it up again and flew through another 50 pages. So I'm definitely going to pick this up again tomorrow and come on when I have more thoughts. I am really enjoying it so far. I love a good dystopian, and I can definitely see why people are referring to this as a modern classic. I feel like the idea is just so unique, but it's also such like it has such important themes that are universal, and I feel like will definitely stand the test of time. So I am really enjoying it. It's just such a cool and fun concept. So I'll check back in when I have more thoughts. Okay, so I've made it a little bit farther in the Hunger Games. We are in the middle of the games right now, and it's going well. I am enjoying it. I thought I would come on now and talk a little bit about some of my initial thoughts of things that I'm enjoying and not so much enjoying. So, what I'm liking the most about this book is definitely the world building and the politics. I love the concept of this book. It's just, to me, is so interesting and it's really keeping me engaged in the story. I love books like this that have kind of like a political system or like a power dynamic with the people in charge or the leaders, and that's definitely going on in this book. So I'm really enjoying those aspects. But I'm not so much enjoying, and I will say this is not the book's fault, it's just not my preference or my taste as a reader. And that is, I don't tend to gravitate towards sort of like what you would call survival stories, especially in like thrillers or mysteries, anything that's like, you know, people get trapped in a snowstorm and they're trying to survive type thing. And this is kind of giving me that vibe where they're in this situation and they're trying to survive. And I get that's the entire premise of the book, but I think just that sort of storyline is not my preference. It doesn't mean it's bad or it's not interesting or entertaining. It's just not what I tend to gravitate towards. And I think that's definitely the case with this book as well. But I am still enjoying it. I do really like the characters. And as I'm reading it, things are starting to come back to me from when I watched the movie years and years ago. So I am now starting to remember things that are happening in characters. And so that's interesting. I am excited to finish it up and then watch the movie. So those are just some of my initial thoughts for now. I think maybe I'm going to finish this up and then I'll come on after I've finished the book and watched the movie, and I'll chat a bit about my final thoughts as well as maybe a bit of a comparison between the book and the movie, because I always read the book first, and so this will be a very rare occasion where I have done it the opposite way. So we'll see if that affects my enjoyment of the book and my thoughts on the movie and etc. So I'll see you soon. So I have finally read The Hunger Games, better late than never, and I do get the hype. I did really enjoy it. I'm going to keep this pretty short because I don't have too many new thoughts. I'm just going to recap what I've probably already said before. So, the things that I loved about this book are number one, the politics and world building. I love the concept. It was so interesting, so intriguing, such a unique concept. Secondly, I really liked the characters. There wasn't a single character in this book that I didn't like, even the ones that are supposed to be unlikable. So I really enjoyed that aspect of it. And I will for sure be continuing and finishing the series. So I'm excited to get into the second book. So the couple of things that I wasn't super fond of, I don't think are at all a fault of the book itself. They're not actually weaknesses of the book. They're just things that I don't personally as a reader gravitate towards. And that would be that it's young adult. I'm just not a young adult reader. I feel like I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more if it was an adult book with adults participating in the Hunger Games. So that's definitely not a fault of the book, it's just personal preference. And the only other thing that I wasn't super fond of is sort of the trope of like survival story. It's just not my personal favorite, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it and I'm still going to continue reading it. So yeah, those are the only two things that I wasn't super sold on, and they're not fault of the book at all. Again, they're just completely personal preference, just my style as a reader, and that's totally fine. So overall, I think I'm going to land on 4 stars for The Hunger Games. For me, 4 stars is a strong rating, especially for a young adult book. It's one of the best young adult books I've ever read. I would say definitely The Hunger Games, Harry Potter, of course, and The Good Girl's Guide to Murder are probably my top 3 young adults. Earlier today, I did watch the movie. I thought we could talk about that for a little bit. I really liked the movie. It's actually only probably my second or third time watching it. Um, I haven't watched it since essentially it came out, and it is a really good movie. I really enjoy it. I love Jennifer Lawrence. Generally speaking, I'm not much of a movie person, and I always, if I am gonna watch a movie and there's a book that it's based off of, I always read the book first. This one, however, just kind of slipped through the cracks, and I watched the movie before. Um, I'm not sure if it's an unpopular opinion, and I never have this opinion, but in this instance, I think I slightly did enjoy the movie more than the book. For this one, for whatever reason, I think if we were doing like ratings, I would say the book was a 4 star. I'd give the movie 5 star. I really enjoyed it. I think just the level of action as well as like the really nice like costumes and the acting, it was just really engaging. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on the movie versus the book for The Hunger Games. Do you have a preference? Do you think that the book was way better, the movie was way better? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments if you might be interested in seeing a reading vlog for each of the books. We can make it a little series on here. I remember when the movies and the books first came out, everybody was either Team Peeta or Team Gale. So if you made it to this point in the video, let me know in the comments whose team you're on or were on when it came out. I think for myself, I'm currently undecided. I need to read 1 or 2 more books to make a decision, but I would love to know in the comments what your opinions are. Thanks so much for watching. See you later. Bye.